Welcome back to Empowerment in Illness. I'm Gwen, your host. Today, we need some joy. We've had some heavy conversations during Lupus Awareness Month. We've talked about visibility. We've talked about long-term lupus. We've talked about grief and remembrance. All of that matters, and we needed every bit of it. But chronic illness life is not only pain, appointments, loss, and hard conversations. There is still laughter here. There's still beauty here. There's still dreams here. Recently, I got to check something off my bucket list. I went to Italy. And when I say that out loud, I still feel it. I went to the Vatican. I saw the Colosseum. I saw the Statue of David. I rode in a gondola boat. Saw the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I saw the Trevi Fountain. And lupus didn't stop me. Now, that doesn't mean lupus made it easy. That doesn't mean I didn't have to plan, pace, listen to my body, and make adjustments. But I got there. I stood in places I had only imagined. I saw things I wanted to see. I experienced a dream that had been delayed, but not destroyed. So today's episode is about joy after waiting. It's about the dreams that chronic illness may interrupt, postpone, complicate, or reroute. It's about what it feels like to finally arrive somewhere your heart has been carrying for a long time. And it's about giving yourself permission to still want beautiful things. Let's get into it. There's a particular kind of sadness that comes when a dream has to sit on a shelf. Not thrown away, not forgotten, just placed there while life becomes too complicated to reach for it. Chronic illness can do that. Lupus can do that. It can make you pause things you wanted to do, not because you stopped caring, but because your body, your energy, your finances, your appointments, or your recovery had to come first. And that can be hard to explain to people who think waiting is simple. People may say, you can always go later, and sometimes later is a blessing, but later can still hurt. Later can feel like watching other people move through life while you're negotiating with your body. Later can feel like saving a dream in a place where you hope it will still be waiting when you're ready. When you live with lupus, you don't only ask, can I afford this, or can I take time off? You ask, can my body handle this? What will this cost me physically? Will I need help? What happens if I flare? How do I prepare for the unknown? Those questions can make a dream feel heavier than it used to feel. And sometimes the delay is not one big dramatic moment. Sometimes it's a series of small postponements. Not this year, not this season, not while I'm flaring, not while my medication is changing, not while I'm recovering, not while I'm trying to get stable, not while I'm still afraid to be that far from home. That kind of waiting can make you protective of your own hope. You stop talking about the dream too much because you don't want to keep explaining why it hasn't happened yet. You stop bringing it up because you don't want to feel disappointed again. You may even try to convince yourself that you don't want it as much as you once did, because wanting something that far out of reach can ache. But some dreams stay alive quietly. They wait in saved photos, travel videos, notes in your phone, conversations with people you trust, and little thoughts that return when you least expect them. They show up when you see a place on TV and think, one day. They show up when someone else goes and part of you feels happy for them while another part whispers, I still want my turn. Italy was one of those dreams for me. It wasn't just about going somewhere beautiful. It was about getting to experience something I had carried in my heart. It was about stepping outside of the illness routine and into wonder. It's about remembering that my life is allowed to include more than managing symptoms. And before I ever got on the plane, there had already been a story. There was the waiting, the hoping, the planning, the wondering if it could really happen, the quiet preparation that most people don't see, the part where you keep a dream alive even when lupus keeps making you think carefully about everything. That is why checking it off the bucket list meant so much. It wasn't only a trip. It was a reminder that a delayed dream can still have a heartbeat. When I think about Italy, I don't only think about landmarks. I think about standing there and realizing I'm here. That feeling is hard to describe unless you've had to wait for something your heart wanted. There is a pause that happens inside you. You look around and the world feels big, beautiful, old, alive, and real. And for a moment, you're not thinking about every hard thing it took to get there. You're just there. I went to the Vatican, and that experience carried its own kind of weight. There are places that make you lower your voice without anyone telling you to. Places where the art, the history, the faith, and the silence all seem to speak at the same time. I remember taking it in and feeling the depth of being in a place so many people have traveled to see, pray and study and remember. Then there was the Colosseum. Seeing it in person is different from seeing it in a picture. A picture shows you the shape of it, but being there lets you feel the size of it, the stone, the age, the presence, the way something was broken and still stand with power. I don't want to force a metaphor on it, but I will say sometimes endurance has a look, and standing there looking at something that has lasted through centuries felt like one of those moments where history and personal meaning quietly met. I saw the statue of David, and there's something special about seeing art that people have talked about for generations. You can know it's famous, you know it's important, but seeing it with your own eyes is different. There's details you cannot see through a screen. I rode in a gondola boat, and that felt like a dream in a completely different way. I've dreamt of riding in a gondola since I was a child. The water, the movement, the closeness of the building, the quiet rhythm of the boat, the feeling of being carried through a place instead of rushing through it. That was a soft kind of joy. I stopped recording and taking pictures and enjoyed the moment. I saw the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and yes, it's one of those things you've seen in pictures your whole life, but standing in front of it, still feeling surprised. It has this playful wonder to it. It is famous because it leans, because it's imperfect. But something about it didn't go as planned, and yet people travel from all over the world to see it. I also saw the Trevi Fountain. There's something about fountains that make people stop. Maybe it's the water moving, people gathering from everywhere. Everyone wanting a small piece of hope or memory. It felt alive. It felt like one of those places where you understand why people say you have to see it for yourself. And I got to see it for myself. That sentence still matters to me. I got to see it for myself. Not through someone else's trip, not through a documentary, not through a saved photo. I was there. I got to walk through some of the dreams. And let me say this, joy has texture. Joy can feel like your feet touching an old stone street. Joy can feel like looking up at architecture that makes you feel small in the best way. Joy can feel like sitting down when you need to rest and still being grateful for the view. Joy can feel like a meal you didn't have to cook. Joy can feel like a photo you know you'll keep looking at later. Joy can feel like finally. That is what Italy gave me, a finally. And after so many moments in chronic illness life where the body says, not today, finally is a gift. Now, I want to tell the joyful parts, but I also want to be honest about what people don't see in the travel photos. They don't see the planning before the trip. They don't see the thinking that happens when you live with lupus and decide to travel far from home. They don't see the questions you ask yourself before you ever pack a bag. They don't see you thinking about medication, timing, walking, weather, rest, food, documents, flights, pain, fatigue, and what your body might do in a place where your usual routine is not around you. People see the photos in front of the landmark. They don't always see the careful choices behind it. Traveling with lupus means you cannot always travel casually. You may have to pack like someone who knows your body can change its mind. You may need your medication accessible, not buried somewhere inconvenient. You may need copies of important information. You may need comfortable shoes more than cute shoes. You may need extra rest built into the day. You may need to know where you can sit down. You may need to leave space between activities. And let's be real, that can be frustrating. You may want to wake up early, see everything, stay out late, and squeeze every drop out of the trip. But lupus can make you think differently. It can make you ask, if I do too much today, what will tomorrow look like? It can make you choose between one more stop and protecting the rest of the trip. That's not always easy emotionally. When you're finally somewhere you wanted to be, it can be hard to slow down. It can be hard to say, I need to rest, when there is so much beauty around you. It can be hard to accept that your dream trip may still need boundaries. But boundaries can protect the joy. Rest can protect the joy. Pacing can protect the joy. A lighter day can protect the next day. That is something chronic illness teaches you, whether you wanted the lesson or not. Enjoying life doesn't always mean doing everything. Sometimes it means doing what matters most and leaving enough energy to remember it fondly instead of only remember how hard you crashed. For everyone listening who wants to travel with lupus, I'm not giving medical advice. That conversation belongs with your care team. But from a lived experience place, I will say preparation matters. Think through your medication. Think through your documents. Think through your daily pace. Think through who knows what you need. Think through what happens if you need to slow down. Not because you're expecting the trip to go wrong, because you're giving yourself support. That's where something like the paper trail can be helpful. When your information is organized, you're not trying to remember everything while your brain is tired or your body's already stressed. Having your medication list, provider details, notes, and important documents together can make travel feel less chaotic. And even after the trip, paying attention to your body matters. You may need recovery time. You may need to look back and ask what worked, what was too much, and what would you change next time. That's not about judging yourself. That's about learning how to keep joy possible. Because the goal is not to pretend lupus wasn't there. The goal is to make room for life anyway. There is something people with chronic illness know too well. The fear of being misunderstood when you look happy. You post a photo, you smile, you dress up, you travel, you laugh, you go somewhere beautiful, and somewhere in the back of your mind, you wonder if somebody is going to look at that moment and decide you must not really be sick. That is a sad thing to have to carry into joy, because people with chronic illness often feel like they have to attach proof of pain to every good moment. I had fun, but I was exhausted. I smiled, but I was hurting. I traveled, but I still have lupus. I looked good, but I paid for it later. We add the disclaimer because we've been doubted before, and I understand it. I understand the urge to explain before someone misunderstands. I understand wanting people to know that one beautiful photo doesn't show the whole body story. I understand why so many of us feel like we need to defend both our pain and our joy. But I want to say something clearly. You don't owe everyone a pain report with your happiness. You are allowed to have a good moment and let it be good. You are allowed to post a picture without listing what hurt. You are allowed to laugh without proving what you survived before the laugh. You are allowed to enjoy the gondola, the fountain, the art, the food, the view, the music, the sunshine, the outfit, the memory without turning it into evidence for a case you never should have had to argue. Joy is not suspicious. Joy is not proof that you were exaggerating. Joy is not a betrayal of your diagnosis. It is part of being alive. That was important for me in Italy. I didn't want lupus to narrate every moment. I knew it was there. I knew what my body needed. I knew I had to be thoughtful, but I also wanted to be present. I wanted to see the Vatican and actually see it. I wanted to stand near the Colosseum and not spend the whole time explaining my body to myself. I wanted to ride the gondola and let the beauty of it be enough. Sometimes chronic illness makes us feel like we have to earn joy by suffering quietly first, or we have to justify joy by showing how hard it was to get there. But joy is not something we have to earn through pain. You are allowed to enjoy what is still good. You are allowed to have a day that feels lighter. You are allowed to be more than the hard parts. And this matters because joy can become a form of remembering yourself, not a performance, not a public statement, just a private return to the parts of you that still love beauty, adventure, laughter, food, music, family, travel, creativity, and wonder. When you live with lupus, it can feel like so much energy goes towards staying okay. But joy reminds you that being alive is not only about managing symptoms, It's also about moments that make you feel connected to the world again. I want more of that for us. Not forced happiness, not pretending, not ignoring the hard parts. Real joy. The kind that can sit beside pain without asking permission. I want to end this part of the conversation by speaking to the person who has quietly put a dream down. Maybe no one knows you put it down. Maybe you stopped mentioning it because it hurts too much. Maybe it felt unrealistic after your diagnosis. Maybe money changed. Maybe your body changed. Maybe your responsibilities changed. Maybe life kept happening and the dream started to feel like something that belongs to another version of you. I'm not here to tell you to rush. I'm not here to tell you to ignore your body. I'm not here to tell you that every dream can happen exactly the way you first imagined it. But I do want to ask, is there anything you're ready to pick back up even gently? It doesn't have to be Italy. It doesn't have to be travel. Your dream may be smaller, quieter, or closer to home. It may be going to a concert. It may be visiting family. It may be returning to a hobby. It may be sitting by the water. It may be taking a class. It may be going out to dinner without feeling afraid. It may be planning a birthday celebration that feels like you again. Some dreams need to be resized, but that doesn't make them less meaningful. Maybe the dream used to be a 2-week vacation, and now the first step is a weekend away. Maybe the dream used to be a big event, and now the first step is one afternoon with rest before and after. Maybe the dream used to involve doing everything yourself, and now the first step is asking someone to help you plan. That's not failure. That's adaptation. And adaptation is not the opposite of dreaming. Sometimes adaptation is how the dream survives. For me, Italy will always remind me that joy can wait for you. Not always in the same form. Not always on the first timeline. Not always without effort. But sometimes the things you thought illness had pushed too far away is still there, waiting for you to meet it in the way your life can hold now. So maybe this week, you don't have to plan the whole dream. Maybe you just name it. Maybe you write it down. Maybe you look at a photo, the class, the place, the idea, the project, the experience, and say, I still want this. That sentence can be powerful. I still want this. Not because wanting guarantees the outcome, but because wanting tells the truth about the life still inside you. Lupus may have changed many things, but it doesn't get to make you stop desiring beauty. It doesn't get to make you stop imagining good days. It doesn't get to make you apologize for wanting something beyond survival. And maybe that is the joy I want to leave in this episode. Not just the joy of Italy. The joy of remembering that there are still dreams with your name on them. Set aside some quiet time this week with your journal. These prompts are meant to help you notice your direction, not judge your pace. What is one dream, trip, experience, or personal goal you have gently put down because of lupus, fatigue, fear, money, timing, or life changes? Write about what it meant to you before you had to pause it. What part of that dream still calls to you? Is it the place, the feeling, the freedom, the creativity, the connection, the celebration, or the reminder that your life is still yours? What would a more realistic version of that dream look like with your current body, current energy, and current support system? Write down one adjustment that can make the dream feel possible without pretending lupus is not part of the plan. And for our listeners' action plan, this week we're asking you to take 3 practical steps toward bringing joy back into the conversation. Step 1. Name one dream out loud. Choose one dream or experience you still want. Say it, write it, or share it with someone safe. Don't edit it down right away. Let yourself admit that the desire is still there. Step 2. Identify what postponed it. Be honest about what got in the way. Was it your health, money, fear, fatigue, family responsibilities, transportation, lack of support, or uncertainty? Naming the barrier helps you stop blaming yourself for a delay that may have had real reasons. Step 3. Choose one preparation step. Take one small action that supports the dream without overwhelming you. Research the location. Start a savings envelope. Organize your medical documents. Ask about accessibility. Make a packing list. Talk with your care team if travel is involved. Ask a trusted person to help you think through the plan. And now, a word from our sponsor. This episode is brought to you by the Paper Trail, an empowerment and illness tool created to help you organize the details that chronic illness can make hard to keep track of. When you're living with lupus and planning for something important, whether it's a trip, an appointment, a family event, or a long-awaited dream, there are details that matter. Medications, provider information, important notes, travel documents, symptom history, and questions can get scattered quickly. The paper trail gives you a place to gather what you need so you're not trying to pull everything together when you're already tired. It helps you prepare with more clarity and less panic, especially when your body needs you to plan ahead. This isn't about making life perfect. It's about supporting the dreams, appointments, and decisions that still matter to you, because preparation can help create room for peace, confidence, and joy. Be prepared. Don't panic. And now, back to the show. Before we leave, I would like to close with a special portion of the show I call Healing Heartbeats. This is where we allow ourselves to wallow in sorrow. Give yourself 3 minutes to laugh, cry, scream, cuss, or just sit in silence. Whatever you need to do to feel it, do it. Let the depression in for only 3 minutes. Once you reach 3 minutes, compartmentalize it and get back to living. This is a rinse and repeat behavior. You cannot let depression take over, because when it does, it will not let go. When you hear about the passing of someone, they have the day they were born and the day they pass away. There is a dash in the middle. It's not a long line, but a short dash. That dash represents your life. Go live in spite of having a chronic illness. Don't let your condition stop you. Today, I hope this episode gave you a little room to smile. Not because lupus is easy, and not because planning around chronic illness is simple, but because joy still belongs in the story. Italy gave me memories I will always carry. The Vatican, the Colosseum, the Statue of David, the gondola boat, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, the famous Trevi Fountain. Those moments reminded me that my life can still hold wonder, beauty, and dreams worth waiting for. If you have a dream that has been sitting quietly on the shelf, maybe this is your invitation to look at it again. Not with pressure, not with guilt, just with honesty. Ask yourself what still matters, what needs to be changed, and what small steps can bring a little hope back into view. Remember, you have the strength, the heart, and the support to continue your journey. Be safe.